Welcome everyone. Thank you po for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Jassel Cabrera and I'm your host for today's webinar. So let's have our prayer.
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to meet together. Please help us to come together to make this institution reflect your kingdom. Breathe life into our ideas and decisions. Help us build a team that has love and respect at its heart. Give us the strength to continue working for your kingdom in this time of pandemic. Lord, come give us the inspiration to be the best we can be. May we be a shining example of your goodness and truth within, wherever we are. Inspire our thoughts, discussions, and ideas, and continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth for the greater glory of you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, dalas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong bangaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na nagkikinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Today we're presenting Champion and Professional in the New Normal, the World of Computer Engineering. Our topic, Fundamental of Computer Engineering, Prototype Development. And for our opening remarks, I would like to introduce our Vice President of Student Affairs and Development Office, Dr. Rito A. Camigla Jr.
I would like to welcome everyone to the new normal. Alam nyo, maraming pagbabago ang binigay sa atin ng pandemyang ito. Mula sa kabuhayan at pati na rin sa kung paano tayo makikisalamuha. Lahat tayo ay binago ng COVID-19 pandemic. Subalit sa isang banda, ay may naidulot din naman itong magandang aral para sa ating lahat. Katulad ng pagpapahalaga sa pamilya, sa kung ano ang meron at iniingatan natin. Sa nakalipas sa 10 buwan, pinatunayan natin ang tatag ng mga Pilipino. Hindi natin inaasahan ang bilis ng mga pangyayari na halos lahat ay cashless na kung gusto mong kumain, ay magpa-deliver ka. Kung magbabayad ka ng bills, ay pwede na online. Shopping, banking, at kung ano-ano pa. Pero alam nyo, lahat ng yan ay napaghandaan na ng Trimex Colleges. Mula sa online payment, enrollment, records, and even the conduct of classes. At sa hapong ito, tayo ay magiging bahagi ng isang mahalagang gawain, handa para lamang sa atin. Namnamin ang bawat salita at bawat minuto at nawa ay matuto tayo. Maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating lahat.
Thank you, Dr. Rito A. Camigla, for a meaningful message. And for now, I would like to introduce our Head of Engineering, Engineer Kevin Dimesa.
So good morning to every one of you. So welcome to the General Assembly and of course the webinar series for Computer Engineering Department. So I would just like to welcome to all of you here for this activity. So I would just like to thank first to our scope officers, to the Faculty of Engineering, and to other guests, participants, and resource speakers for this particular webinar. A pleasant morning to all of you. So this webinar is not only intended for having a general assembly, but also in order to promote camaraderie to our students. The same manner, despite we are experiencing pandemic during this time, is to be able actually to give information or knowledge to make our students updated to the current trends in terms of technology. I'm actually welcoming you for this particular event because it will be a great and helpful tool for all of us to make ourselves updated to the different trends in terms of technology nowadays. Thank you so much for participating also for this particular event. This will not be possible without your cooperations. That's why just sit back and relax and enjoy the different webinar series that we actually be given to all of you this particular time. So have a nice day to everyone and God bless to us.
Thank you, Sir Pierre, for your wonderful and meaningful message. And now, I would like to introduce our guest speaker. His education, Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Diploma in Information Technology Management, Master of Science Information Technology, and he has a certification, Certified Hikvision CCTV Installer, National Certificate 2 in Computer System Servicing, Autodesk, AutoCAD Certified User Autodesk Incorporation, National Certificate 2 in Technical Drafting, Certified Microsoft Innovative Educator, Six Sigma White Belt Information Technology, Google Certified Educator Level 1, Professional Experiences, Design Engineering, Information Technology Specialist, Freelance CAD Engineer, Computer Engineering Instructor, Program Chair, Sole Proprietor, Gelotech IT Services. And this topic, Fundamental of Computer Engineering Prototype Development. Please welcome Engineer Mark-Angelo T. Mercado.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
So it's my voice sounds clear? Clear ba yung voice ko?
Yes po.
Okay. Can you allow me to share my screen? Okay, to Dr. Rito Camigla, our Vice President for Student Affairs and Development, to the Program Head of College of Engineering, to my co-fellow faculty, to the senior high school students and computer engineering students who are participating right now, a pleasant good morning. So today, I will be discussing and sharing my thoughts about fundamentals of computer engineering prototype development. So I think this is one of the best topic na kailangan ma-discuss especially for senior high school, who don't have much knowledge with regards what is computer engineering all about, or what are the things that they might encounter when they take computer engineering as their college degree. Okay, are you ready? So this will be the overview of my presentation. So we have the definition of prototype. So what is prototype? The reason for conducting a prototype development, selecting the best development model, creating block diagrams, creating system flowchart, selecting microcontroller, what are the online tools that can help us to create these diagrams and charts. Prototype testing and efficiency rate testing. And then lastly is the evaluation tool. Okay, so that will be the overview of our webinar for this morning. Okay, let's start. So prototype. So prototype gives the customer a complete idea of how the site will look like in the final result. So prototype is uh, a design, a product or a output of a certain design, no, which will be the basis for the mass production of a certain product. Okay, so ginagawa natin yung prototype for us to have a basis. Okay, so prototyping allows you to streamline the design development process. Okay, so we can oversee or we can see yung what will be the output using a simple prototype. Okay. So why do we need to create a prototype? Okay. So number one, evaluating and testing the design. So as I said earlier, as we design, no, we create an actual product. So before natin siyang produce, for example, in a company, we need to create muna a prototype wherein it will satisfy the requirements that we are needed. No? Yung requirements ng ating client, yung requirements ng company, kung lahat ba ay pasok doon sa standard or doon sa specifications. So that's why we are evaluating and testing the design. Okay, so if there is need for revisions or for adjustment, so we will need to adjust the design, so add additional features or select another design na angkop doon sa requirements, and then that's the time we create another prototype. So that's how we evaluate and test the design. Okay. Next, the next reason that's why we need to create a prototype is to clarify the production cost and issues. So as we know, as we create a prototype, okay, we can be able to see what are the materials that will be needed to create to produce that product. Okay, so we can have a bill of materials. Okay, so what is the materials cost? Okay, what are the sizes? And so what are the quantity? And so this will fall under clarifying production costs and issues. Okay. Next is selling the product to others. Of course, if we have a prototype, a certain product, so we can market it. Okay, so we can sell it to a certain company or to a individual, no, that needs our product. Okay, that needs our prototype. Okay, then lastly is for patents. So uh, in applying for patents, so we need to have a prototype that is working and well documented. Okay, so yan. So are you familiar with Mars helicopter prototype or Mars helicopter? Okay, so I hope everybody is well aware of this uh, helicopter, no, since we are already, no, sent sent another expedition on Mars to find life. Okay? So kasama doon si Mars helicopter. So before siyang ipadala sa Mars, so nagkaroon muna sila ng prototype, no, si NASA. Okay? Nagkaroon muna sila ng prototype. Okay? So bakit? So because Mars and Earth are different. So saan kaya sila different? Saan different? So one example na pinagkaiba nila is the density of nung planet na Mars. Okay? The density of the Mars is less than the density of the Earth. Okay? So if I'm not mistaken, the density of Mars is 3.93 grams per cubic meter, while Earth is 5 point something grams per cubic meter. Per cubic meter. So ganun yung difference. So mas less yung density ng Mars. So definitely the design of helicopter ay kailangan magkaroon ng adjustment. Okay? So that's why NASA development team have created a prototype, no, na helicopter na capable of flying in the density na meron sa Mars. Okay? Ayan. So as you can see, last March 28, 2019, the first free flight of this prototype Mars helicopter in atmospheric conditions similar to Mars occurred on May 31, 2016 inside a space simulator. So there is a room wherein it was tested based on the specifications of the Mars. Okay? Ayan. The Mars density. Yeah. So this one is one of the example. Okay, so in computer engineering, we have here one of our requirement for us to become an engineer is for us to have accomplished a design project. Okay, so this is a prototype. This is an example of prototype that will solve a certain problem. So in engineering, we have here called we have a thesis called design project, wherein we will be solving a certain issues or rationale that we will be developing a certain prototype to answer that or to solve that problem. Okay, so as we have already a topic or a problem, so we need to choose what development model we will use. No, this will be our guide in creating the prototype. Okay, so paano ba natin gagawin yung prototype? What will be the steps? Diba? So I have here different types of model that can be used in prototyping. So the number one, so the commonly used na ginagamit is the waterfall model. So this waterfall model is dependent to each other. Okay? So nakikita niyo requirement analysis, followed by system design, followed by implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. So this kailangan muna dito is mauna yung requirement analysis bago mag-proceed doon sa next step na system design, followed by next step implementation. Okay? That is waterfall model. And then if magkakaroon ng adjustment or kailangan ng may i-adjust, so babalik sila doon sa step na yon. And then balik ulit doon sa next step. Okay? That is waterfall model. Next we have prototyping model. Okay? So ito rin yung isa sa mga maganda rin gamitin na model. Okay? Dito we have planning, initial analysis, development of the prototype. Tapos we have the testing and evaluation, followed by revision and improvements. And kapag meron tayong kailangang i-adjust sa prototype, since this is a prototype, we are making it before natin siyang i-mass production or i-mass produce, dapat siya ay perfect na siya based doon sa ating requirements. So complete na or nasagot na niya yung mga requirements natin. Okay? Next we have the SDLC. So this SDLC is system development life cycle is also called software development life cycle. So we can use it also in creating a system or a program. No? So engineering pwede na siyang gamitin. So this have requirement analysis, design, implementation, testing, and evolution. So these are the flow of the SDLC. Okay? So kung mapapansin nyo guys, laging nag-i-start yung ating mga model in requirement analysis. No? Specify ano ba yung mga kailangan, ano yung mga i-input natin doon sa ating model. So what we will be what will be the data no, na kailangan natin. So, ayan. So the next one, we have here the V-shaped model. So kaya siya tinawag na V-shape kasi pa-V siya. So we have three parts here. So we have the project definition, the time, and the project test and integration. So for project definition, so dito papasok lahat ng ating mga requirements, no? Requirements and design. Okay? Followed by project test and integration. So dito naman is yung ating testing, system verification and validation, then operation and maintenance. Of course, this will not be done, no? So kasabay nito, kailangan mo natin siyang i-implement. So that is meron tayong implementation sa gitna. Okay? Followed by time. So this time is the duration of the implementation, okay, ng ating prototype. Okay, so once na-integrate na natin siya, na-testing na natin siya, so that's the time we check or we validate if the evaluation tools na ginamit natin is already answering our requirements or our specifications na kinakailangan dito sa ating prototyping. Next, another type of model is the agile development. So mostly ginagamit din to sa sa software development. So sa engineering pwede din siyang gamitin. Okay, so dito mas mabilis yung process of development, no? So may specified na kung ilang weeks or ilang araw siya matatapos. So this is agile development. So next one is we have to create a conceptual framework. Okay, so we have here an example. So different institutions have different different na ginagamit when it comes to conceptual framework. So depende rin kasi sa research or sa thesis or prototype na gagawin ng isang researcher. Okay, so for example, we have here the IPO model, conceptual framework of voting system. So as you can see, it is in IPO format or input process output. So the input here will give us the data, no, mga requirements natin na kakailanganin. Then the process is the methods, no, or the steps na kailangan natin gawin for us to be able to achieve, no, our desired output. So dito ang desired output is a voting system. So para ma-achieve natin siya, so we have to do these processes. So the research, the design, the method of research, method of collecting data, ayan, sampling design, and then we have here the method of system development life cycle. And then of course, so once we have achieved yung output natin, yung ating system, so we can able to answer our SOP or the problems or the rationale na meron tayo sa study. So we can have dito nakalagay dito, improve and simplify the election procedures, secure user-friendly and efficient delivery of election services, or provide convenience to both the students and school management. So that is one example of IPO model or conceptual framework. Next. So another example here, this is one product of my student. So this is another example of IPO or input process output framework. So dito sa input we have classified the knowledge, the hardware and software requirements. So for knowledge, So by the way, this prototype is titled Interactive Printing Kiosk with coin-based point of sales application and GSM support notification system. So for knowledge, ayan, so we have the coin acceptor and coin hopper. So dapat the researcher are knowledgeable, no? So ano ba yung coin acceptor, ano yung coin hopper? The setting and printing of documents. So since this is interactive printing kiosk, so dapat alam nila yung mga settings sa pag-print. Okay, yung different settings. So settings and printing, acknowledgement receipts. Ayan, so printing acknowledgement receipt is also included in the knowledge. For hardware, of course, we have here the different components that kailangan to complete this prototype. And of course, the software, the HTML, the PHP, the MySQL, and the Python language. Next, the process. So we have differentiate din yung process for development ng hardware and development of software. And for the output, we will be having this system. Then we have also included or specified the output of the research. Next one is creating block diagram. Okay, this is an example of block diagram. And so we have here input. Okay. And from our Raspberry Pi. So ang ginamit nating microcontroller for this one is Raspberry Pi 4 gig RAM. So later I will be discussing different microcontrollers that you can select, no, based on your requirements. And so these are the examples. So we have here the 220 volts, 220 volts, no, power input, circuit breaker, and outlet, UPS, APR, thermal printer, inkjet printer, etc. Yeah. Okay. So this is the example of system block diagram. So basically, sa system block diagram, this is the connection of all the components, no, sa ating prototype, sa ating prototype system natin. So in computer engineering kasi, we are required to have a microcontroller, no, para doon sa aming design project. So once we have a microcontroller, we need different sensors and electronic components combined, okay, to arrive or to solve a certain problem. Okay, so this is our system block diagram. So another one, if we have connections between components or hardware components, so we should have also connections, no, between or the step-by-step, okay, process or instructions na gagawin ng ating component natin. So this is an example of a flow chart, okay? So based on sa example natin kanina sa block diagram, okay, dito makikita natin we have start, welcome page, tapos we have condition statement here. We have conditional statement. Someone logged on into the system. So if yes, so diretso sa login page. Kapag no, it will display pa din yung welcome page. Ayan. So this is how the system flowchart works. So if we have, you can also create flowchart, no, in different, kumbaga per module. So for example, we have step by step dito sa first module. So we can create a certain flowchart para doon, and then we can create an overall flowchart, no, para sa lahat. Okay. So next one is selecting microcontroller. So ano nga ba yung pag sinabi nating microcontroller? So for those who have not yet kung sino man yung hindi pa ganun wala pang alam regarding sa microcontroller. So microcontroller is very summarily defined like a system of complete control dedicated to a particular application, which is equipped with logic functions and most of other elements necessary to its operations. So microcontroller, so this is one of the tools that being used nowadays to make different machines and to create our own computers. Yan. So pwede kasi tayo mag-create ng sarili nating computer using this microcontroller. We can create our own machines. Yan. So ano ba pinagkaiba ng microprocessor sa microcontroller? And minsan kasi nagiging problem is nagigito yung students with regards to microprocessor and microcontroller. So the microprocessor is the CPU alone. Okay? It consists of arithmetic logic unit, no? The register and the control unit. While microcontroller composed of the CPU, the RAM, the ROM, and I/O. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. Okay? And so next, one example of a microcontroller is the most commonly known, si Arduino. Okay, so pinaka ginagamit natin is the Arduino Uno, especially in education, in learning microcontroller. Arduino Uno yung mostly ginagamit. So kasi siya yung much available, saka medyo siya, economic in terms, economically siya, low cost, kumbaga. Okay? So Arduino is an open source electronics platform based on easy to use hardware and software. It's intended for anyone making interactive projects. Ayan. Si Arduino is capable of accepting digital and analog signals. Okay? So si microcontroller, kung mapapansin nyo sa taas niya, so itong may number na 0 to 13. So ito yung mag-accept ng digital data. So pag sinabi nating digital, ito ay yung 0 and 1. Okay? Ito yung high and low. 0 and 1, high and low. So siya yung 1 and 0 is pwedeng manggaling sa certain component. For example, ay switch. So pag tinagel natin siya o in-on natin siya, so mag-trigger siya ng signal na 1. So that is one of the example of binary data or digital data. Okay? So yung nasa baba, itong may A0 to A5. So this port will accept analog signal. So pag sinabi nating analog, okay? So kabaliktaran ng digital. So analog, meron siyang certain value. Okay? For example is temperature. For example, tayo ay may sensor, may temperature sensor. So, i-connect natin siya dito sa analog. Kasi ang i-accept niya is degrees Celsius. Okay? So, i-convert dito, i-accept dito na degrees Celsius, tapos i-convert ng microcontroller natin na maiintindihan ni CPU natin dito sa microcontroller. Okay? So kaya siya meron tayo ng analog input or analog in. Okay? What else? Yung ating ultrasonic sensor. So dito din natin kino-connect sa analog pin. Okay? So para mag-input ng distance dito sa ating microcontroller. Okay, so there's a lot more sensors na pwede nating i-connect dito sa ating Arduino. And so if you want to check other features and other samples or other projects, so you can browse arduino.cc for different projects na ina-upload doon sa kanilang website. And there's also some tutorials and examples uploaded on arduino.cc. Ayan. So syempre, for example, naging interested kayo na pag-aralan nitong microcontroller, saan ba tayo makakabili? Okay, so during this time, na nasa nasa bahay lang tayo, so we are not allowed to go out, as much as possible. So we can buy microcontrollers to Lazada or Shopee, So this is most commonly na online tawag dito, online platform for for shopping. So we can you can browse the shop of Maker Lab and Circuit Tracks. So we can also have pwede nyo rin i-browse yung kay BSY Electronics. So these are already in the industry of electronics. So talagang yung mga products is reliable. So I'm not marketing these shops. So nagbibigay lang ako ng konting advice din kung saan pipili ng shop na pagbibilan. Kasi sa others are medyo nakakatakot din mag-shopping online kapag hindi reliable yung pagbibilan natin. Ayan. So ever since these are the shops na talaga nagpo-provide ng quality products. Ayan. So magkano ba ang isang microcontroller? So the microcontroller is cost more than almost 200 pesos. So 240 including the shipping fee. Ayan. So may kasama na siyang connector. Okay, so if you want to buy the whole set, okay, you can ito sa whole set kasi complete na siya, may kasama ng mga sensors, may kasama ng connectors, LCD, breadboard, resistors, remote control, LEDs, ayan, servo motor, potentiometer, relay, etc. So, ayan, kumpleto na siya. You can create a simple project using this kit. Okay, so may kasama na din siyang manual just in case you want to create more or to self kung gusto niyo matuto ng kailang, so you can use this manual. Okay? Ayan. So yung cost ng kit is 1,559. So meron pa ditong may promo pa sila. So 50 pesos free shipping. Ayan. So free shipping na daw tong 1,559. Okay, so you can browse another shops with regards to buying other microcontroller. Ayan. So another type of microcontroller, so mostly this Arduino Uno is most commonly used. Okay? So depende. Okay? For example, unti lang or basic lang yung project natin. But if our project requires more than 20 pins or 10 pins yung kakailanganin natin with regards to our project. So kakailanganin natin ng maraming pin, no? So gagamit tayo ng Arduino Mega. Okay? So gagamit tayo ng isang malaking Arduino para magkasya lahat ng ating ilalagay na component. Okay? I-connect the component sa ating microcontroller. So as you can see, we have lots of analog signal here. 15 pin for analog. And then we have 21, tama ba? 21 for digital signal, digital input. Ayan. Okay, so we can use this Mega kapag yung projects natin is medyo madaming sensors na ilalagay. Okay? Ayan. So magkano yung Mega? So the Mega costs more around 600, 640, and including the shipping fee. So, ayan. So you can browse or you can buy through Lazada. So another one, kung ang project mo naman will be small lang or dalawa or isang sensor lang yung kakailanganin mo, you can buy Arduino Nano. Okay? So it has digital pin. Ito. So ilan? So we can use 12 digital pin including the TX and RX, the transfer and receive signal. Dito tayo nag-receive at nag-transfer ng signal. If you want to connect another microcontroller, pwede natin i-connect dito sa RX and TX. Ayan. For analog, ayan, so we have 7 pin for analog. Okay? Ayan. So you can visit arduino.cc for more information dito sa Arduino Nano. So the price is approximately 260, including the power cord. Okay, so USB cable, so kasama na. Yeah, so if you want to try Arduino Nano in your projects, yeah, so you can use this one. Okay, you can try this one. Okay, so aside from this Arduino, there's a lot of microcontrollers pa, so na different boards no sa Arduino. So these are just the example. So kukulangin tayo ng oras kapag inisa-isa natin. Okay? Yan. So binigay ko lang yung example ng mga basic and commonly used microcontrollers. But if you want to check other board no in Arduino, you can check out their website, no, www.arduino.cc. Okay? Yan. So the next one, ito is a generic brand or generic type of Arduino. So this is called Node MCU ESP8266. It is used for IoT projects. So, ayan. So, mostly, no, kung mag-search kayo sa internet, so ito yung madalas nalalabas na na ginagamit for IoT projects. Although there's a lot of microcontrollers na lumalabas na capable of connecting to internet wirelessly. So, ito yung isa sa mga kumbaga naging foundation of IoT, no? Si Node MCU ESP8266. Ayan. So you can visit its website, no, nodemcu.com, for more information. So this is a low cost in terms of power, no? Kasi lang siya, type C yung ginagamit na port dito sa Node MCU. So it only consumes 5 to 9 volts itong Node MCU ASP8266. So where to buy? Meron din ito sa Lazada or Shopee. So medyo siya, low in cost. So umaabot lang ng less than 200, no, kasama na yung shipping. Okay? So ganyan siya kamura. Okay, it's the same then with regards to programming. So gumagamit din ng C++. So nagkaiba lang with ng konti doon sa syntax sa pagpo-program, and then there are some libraries that need to be included, no, doon sa program para siya ay mag-work. Ayan. So another type of microcontroller that you can use for your project is the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus. Okay, so actually, this is also considered na as a microcomputer, a small scale computer, no, wherein you can already, no, perform basic activities, no, same as you are performing in a desktop or a laptop. So parang ganoon din siya. So we can consider this as Raspberry Pi 3 as a microcomputer. Ayan. So kaya mostly minsan ginagamit na rin siya for web server, for a simple system, no, sa mga kiosk machine, sa mga turnstile. Ayan. So ginagamit na rin itong Raspberry Pi. Okay. So imbis kasi na bumili sila ng isang buong computer, no, that will cost them almost 20,000, 30,000. So ito, they will cost lang din sila ng mga less than 3,000 or 5,000, no, complete set na yan. So that's the advantage of this Raspberry Pi microcontroller. Ayan. So there's a lot of models sa Raspberry Pi. So discuss ko lang yung pinaka most commonly used and updated version. So dito meron tayong Raspberry Pi 3 Model B+. So naabutan ko to. This was used for Wi-Fi bendo machine. So pwede siyang gamitin sa bendo machine. Itong Raspberry Pi 3 Model B+. So So you can visit raspberrypi.org for the other details, no? If you want to search for another features of this Raspberry Pi 3. Okay, so it has 1.4 gigahertz 64-bit quad-core processor. So it's capable of connecting wirelessly and through RJ45. So pwede tayong mag-connect through LAN. Okay, meron din siyang Bluetooth, no? If you want to connect in via Bluetooth, so pwede rin. Okay? It's capable also for PoE or power over Ethernet. So you can power this Arduino using RJ45. Okay? So how much is this Raspberry Pi 3 B+? So this Raspberry Pi is approximately 3,000. Yan. So more than 3,000, no? Kasama na itong casing. Ayan. So may kasama ng casing. So medyo may kamahalan siya, and then you need also to buy an SD card for the storage of the operating system. So the most commonly used operating system for Raspberry Pi is Raspbian OS. Raspbian OS. But now we have also Windows IoT. So you can try it also in Raspberry Pi. Okay. Ayan. The next one, the upgraded version of Raspberry Pi 3 B+ is the Raspberry Pi 4. So in Raspberry Pi 4, the difference is that this Raspberry Pi had already a random access memory. So it's meron nang naka-embed sa kanya na RAM. Okay? Unlike kay Raspberry Pi 3. So dito meron ng RAM. So mas pinalakas yung ating Raspberry Pi. So pwede na siyang talagang gamitin as a computer. Okay? A low-cost computer. Ayan, sinabi dito, your tiny dual display desktop computer. So it's capable of for dual display. Pwede kang gumamit ng dalawang monitor dito sa Raspberry Pi na to. Okay? Ayan. So it has, and this one is also capable of displaying in 4K resolution. So sobrang linaw ng resolution niya, 4K. Okay? Capable na siya. So it has also USB 3.0 technology. So pwede na tayong mag-connect ng USB 3.0. So this will transfer data much faster compared to USB 2.0. Ayan. So you can select RAM, no? If you want 2 gig, 4 gig, 8 gig, depends upon your requirements. And then they also included more powerful processor dito sa ating Raspberry Pi. And then we have also USB-C, okay, for powering up this Raspberry Pi. So yung mga bago nating connectors sa mobile phones, so we can use it also in Raspberry Pi 4. So magkano kaya to? So the amount, the pinaka lowest amount will be 2,300. The Raspberry Pi alone, that is 2 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte memory. So if you want to have complete set, including the power supply, the aluminum heatsink, the casing, and then the HDMI cable, so it's more likely aabot siya ng 4,000 plus. Okay, 2 gig lang yon. So kung paabot na yung 4 gig or 8 gig, so it's less than 10,000 siguro na magiging price. Okay? That's one of the latest version of Raspberry Pi. So and now we have yung Raspberry Pi is already naglabas na sa market, no? Actually nasa pa lang siya, sa ibang bansa pa lang meron. So I searched for availability of this product. So as of now wala pa siya dito sa Philippines. So pero siya ay nilabas sa market last year, November. So probably by upcoming months, so magiging available na sa Philippines. So this is Raspberry Pi 400. So it's a quad-core 64 gig, sorry, 64-bit processor. Okay? So meron na siyang embedded na 4 gigabyte RAM. It's capable of wireless connection. Can display output in 4K resolution. Ayan. So meron siyang 40-pin GPIO header. So by the way, Raspberry Pi is also accepting digital and analog data. Okay? Same dun sa ating microcontrollers. Same sa ating Arduino and other microcontrollers. So the difference is that this Raspberry Pi is meron na siyang operating system. Okay? Raspberry Pi 400 is a powerful, easy-to-use computer built into a neat and portable keyboard. Yan. Kung meron tayong 3-in-1 computer, no, wherein yung ating desktop and monitor ay magkasama na. So sa Raspberry Pi meron tayong built-in, no, na keyboard and Raspberry Pi. So magkasama yung keyboard at yung Raspberry Pi. So i-connect mo na lang siya sa monitor at sa mouse. Okay? So ganun siya maganda gamitin, no. So mas ginawa siyang powerful. So hindi lang for computer use, pwede rin siya for certain development, especially for computer engineering and other engineering branch or engineering students. Pwede siyang gamitin ng mga hobbyists, mga electronic hobbyists, mga developers in creating their own system or prototype. Ayan. So magkano kaya to? So as I have searched, so sa Amazon pa lang meron. Okay, you can buy also microcontrollers in Amazon. So in dollar nga lang siya. Tapos merong shipping fee, of course. Merong shipping fee na papunta sa atin sa Philippines. So ang cost niya is $110.69 plus 15. So ilan yon? Convert natin. So 1110.69 plus 15.34. So $126 times 48. So it's almost 6,000 in price. Ayan. So 6,000 in price kung bibili natin sa Amazon. So ayan. So medyo mas mahal, no? So next, there are also other microcontrollers that Raspberry Pi have introduced, no, in the market. So we call it RP2040. Okay, so we have Tiny 2040, Micromode RP2040, Pico. So Pico is a microcontroller version, no, ng Nano. So they compete Pico to Nano. Okay. So almost the same na itsura, di ba? Tapos the functions are also the same. So Pro Micro RP20 and Feather 2040. So Micromode RP20 is a processor, a type of processor. So kino-connect pa siya for into a microcontroller. So kaya siya merong connector dito. Meron siyang slot dito sa right side. Okay, so yung Pico is a tiny, fast, and versatile board built using RP2040, a brand new microcontroller chip designed by Raspberry Pi in UK. Yeah, so ganun lang siya kaliit. Pagka chinek nyo, so you can use it for small projects. Okay, small projects or educational activities. Yeah. So you can visit raspberrypi.org for more features and details about this microcontroller. And the cost nito in Lazada is almost 254 or less than 300. Okay, yung cost niya. Ayan. So hindi pa kasama yung connector. Okay. So that's the examples of microcontrollers. So we have lots of different types of microcontrollers available na in the market. Okay, so merong orange pie, ano pa, banana pie. So there's a lot more, no, ng mga fruit names na microcontrollers. So you can check it out, no, sa Google with regards to different brand of microcontroller. Ayan. So we're done with that. So let's proceed to the online tools that we can use, no, in prototyping or in creating our papers, no, in development of prototype. So number one is Visio. So in Visio, we can create flowchart, block diagrams, ano pa, different charts. So pwede tayong gumamit using Visio. Okay? We can also use Lucid chart, no? This Lucid chart is capable of you can create diagram or chart online, okay? Using your browser. So pwede kayong mag-create. So there's a lot of templates that you can use, but this is limited lang din na yung trial version. So you can check out the amount of subscription. So meron dito. Pero for small projects, so you can use the free trial. Okay? Ayan. So ito yung itsura niya. So another example ng online tool natin for creating diagrams, flowchart or block diagrams. So we can use Smart Draw. Ayan. So maganda rin siya. It's also capable of designing online or creating diagram online. So next one is Creately. So Creately is much more colorful, no, compared to doon sa sa Lucid chart saka si Smart Draw. So medyo siya interactive pag titingnan. So dito lahat ng department yan, so IT, engineering, education, and so they have their free templates na you can use for starting the creation of a diagram. Ayan. So the next one, this is Tinkercad. So if you will be creating your microcontroller, if you are creating your prototype using a microcontroller, so you can use Tinkercad for simulation. Okay? So before kayo maggawa, no, doon sa actual ninyong microcontroller board, so you can use Tinkercad for checking if your program will work. Ayan, so sa makita niyo sa kaliwa, sa kanan ko, on your right side, so meron na ditong programs. Ayan, na you can check if your program will work in an Arduino. Okay? Ayan, tapos meron tayong example of circuit dito. We have the potentiometer below. Okay, then we have an LED sa taas. Okay, connected to the ground. Of course, the negative terminal of the LED, and then the positive terminal is connected pa doon sa ating resistor kasi kailangan niyang babawas yung amount of current na magpo-flow sa kanya para hindi siya babasted or babasted yung LED. Okay? Ayan. So you can select block or text dito sa Tinkercad, no? If you want to make your program clickable, ayan, yung values is madaling baguhin, so you can use blocks. But if you want to make it in coding, ayan, so pwede kayo magbago sa coding. Ayan. So you can try it using start simulation. Ayan. So pag gagawa kayo ng for example is circuit, no, using Tinkercad, mas maganda. So mas interactive siya. Mas medyo realistic, no, in terms of the components na meron tayo dito sa Tinkercad. Next is if you have projects, no, na mobile connected. For example, you have a prototype that can be controlled or monitored via mobile phone. So instead of using Arduino, using Android, ano ba mga natin? using Blender, using Android Studio, yun pala, Android Studio and other large yung mabibigat, no? Mabibigat na application sa pag-develop ng mobile application. So you can simply use appinventor.mit.edu. So this MIT App Inventor is online also. So you can create it online, no, using your browser. Yeah, so make sure lang na Google Chrome yung gagamitin para at least all the components and libraries are compatible. Ayan. Saka mas stable kasi sa Google Chrome. Ayan. So for example, meron dito sa example, okay, we have the button switcher. So it's just a two button, no? The on is in green, tapos off is red. Okay? Tapos we have the counter. So plus and minus, plus and minus. Ayan. So dito you can simulate, no, dito sa App Inventor before niyo siyang i-export as APK file, no, as installer sa inyong mobile phone or sa inyong iOS phone. Okay? Sa inyong iPhone. So robotic arm slider, ayan, so you can set, no, the sensitivity or the rotation and the speed of a robot, no, using your mobile phone. Ayan. So dapat connect sila into one network. Okay, yung ating microcontroller doon sa ating App Inventor. Ayan. So para mag-adjust. Then we have car controller. Ayan, so the forward and backward, and then turn left and turn right. So that's one of controlling, no, mobile, controlling a prototype, no, for example a car prototype. So pwede natin siyang controlin using a mobile phone made by appinventor.mit.edu. So you can check it out, other examples na meron dito sa application na to. So pwede meron silang mga examples na pwede niyong gayahan just in case you will be creating a mobile application connected to a microcontroller. Ayan. So okay, that's the tools that can help you in creating your own prototype. For this slide was also a help, no? If you already done with the prototype, you will be testing, no? You will be testing your prototype ng madami, okay? You will test your prototype many times, okay? For you to see its effectiveness and of course stability. Okay? So dito we have prototype testing. So dito tinetest yung efficiency ng system, okay? We are testing the traditional, no, traditional way compared doon sa ating output, no, na prototype. So tinetest natin if there is a efficiency, no? Efficient ba, no? Kumbaga upon numerous testing, consistent ba yung natin, yung prototype natin na mag-output ng gantong standard, no? Gantong for example dito time lapse when using the prototype in seconds. Ayan, for one page ilang second, consistent ba siya? So we will count the average yung average nating seconds. Okay? Ayan. So this is an example of efficiency prototype testing. So kapag nakapag-produce ng prototype, you need to test its efficiency. Okay? Ayan. So sa left side, meron tayo ditong efficiency table. So meaning to say, all the modules has been tested, no, based on their efficiency. Kung sila ba ay efficient na maglabas ng output na ganito, okay, kung in many testing, dapat consistent. Okay? Ayan. So this example, ang naging result ng efficiency ng machine niya overall is 79.06. Yeah, so 79% siyang efficient. Next, for evaluation, so aside from testing, yung testing kasi is for the developer or dun sa inyo as proponent. For evaluation naman, so dito naman papasok yung mga people or expert involved in terms of your prototype. Dapat ang magiging evaluator dito is all the people na magiging significant study. Okay, yung expert doon sa sa system niyo, yung magiging expert, tapos yung mga user. Okay, dapat sila yung maging evaluators. So as much as possible, mas marami, mas maganda para yung results of evaluation is mas reliable. Okay? So in example natin for prototype evaluation is the ISO 9126, wherein consists efficiency, maintainability, usability, functionality, reliability, and portability. So dito nire-rate ng isang evaluator yung prototype. Ayan. So ito yung kanyang rubrics for the rating. Ayan, so merong values 5 to 1. So 5 is the outstanding, 5 is the highest, and then 1 is the lowest for the evaluation. And then lahat yun is i-average, kukunin yung mean, tapos malalaman natin kung saan siya magpo-fall. Okay, kung 3.5 to 4.5 yan, so meaning to say your prototype is evaluated as very satisfactory. Okay, kung yan ay below satisfactory, 1.5 to 2.5, so meaning to say there's need to recheck the design, or you need to improve your prototype. Okay, and dapat siya ay magpo-fall sa very satisfactory saka outstanding. Okay, para siya ay maging acceptable as prototype. Okay, so yan ito yung example. You will be evaluated, the prototype will be evaluated based on functionality, reliability, usability, efficiency, maintainability, and portability. So this is the summary of the evaluation. Okay, I think that will be the end of my presentation. So I would like to end this presentation with a quotation. So, challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. So I hope lahat tayo, we have experiencing challenges right now, and I think we will be overcoming it. Ano lang tayo, kumbaga laban lang, di ba? Ayan, this is based on Joshua J. Marin. And that's all for today. Thank you guys for listening.
Okay na po. Good morning po. Good afternoon. Thank you po, Sir Mark, for your great presentation.
Yeah, thank you then, thank you. So is there any question, guys?
So, let's have our Q&A, question and answer. So sa mga attendees po natin na pwedeng gusto magtanong kay Sir Mark, so pwede po tayong magtanong.